Hi, this is Mrs. Bolin with your Unit 3 review for Algebra 1. So question number 1 on the warm-up says, name the angle pair and solve for x. First of all, I like to have my students kind of color in between the lines. So those are the interior angles if they are inside the lines. So these are interior angles and they're on alternate sides of that line. So I would say these are alternate interior angles. Okay, and then we know that they're congruent. So if I'm going to solve for x, I'm going to say, well, I know that 10x plus 2 has to be equal to 32. So I'm going to minus the 2 on both sides. So 10x equals 30, and then just divide by the 10. So x is equal to 3. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. Question number 2, find the value of x. First of all, this is a 5-sided pentagon or polygon, which would be a pentagon. So I know that it has to add up to 540 degrees. Remember, you can do the number of sides 5, take away 2, which would be 3, and then times by 180. That's how I got 540. So remember, I'll just write that up here. N minus 2, and then whatever that answer is, times by 180. N is the number of sides. Okay, that's just the sum of the angles. Now I need to find x. So we're going to write an equation, and I'm going to start with the x. And so I'm going to go x plus 105 plus 118 plus 75 plus 130 has to add up to make 540. Okay, so we get x plus 428, if you add those all up, equals 540 minus the 428 on both sides. So we get x is equal to 112. Okay, question number 2, I'm going to switch colors just so that my equations don't run into each other here. Try and focus that a little better. Sorry about that. Okay, question number 3, we are going to distribute first. And so I have negative 9t, a negative times a negative is a positive 18. 4 times t is 4t minus 60. Okay, and then what I like to do is look for the smaller variable and then cancel that out on both sides. So even though 4 is smaller than 9, because 9's a negative, that's a smaller value. So I'm going to do the opposite of the minus 9t, which would be plus 9t. So I have 18 equals 13t minus 60, and then I'm going to add the 60 on both sides. So I have 78 equals 13t, and 13 actually goes into that evenly 6 times. Okay. Question number 4 says, when graphing an inequality, when do you use open circle on the number line? So anytime it is greater than or less than, we're going to use an open circle. Okay. If it had an or equal to, so greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, that's when we use a closed circle. Okay, remember this one has like a open mouth, like, oh, this is an open. Okay, open, closed. Okay. Question number 1, we are just going to write it as an inequality. So a number x is no less than, meaning if it can't be smaller than, it could be equal to, or it could be greater than negative 8. That's it. Okay, if you ever get stuck on these, turn back to page 39 and look at your notes. And that has all the different things like what it connects the symbols to the words. Okay, and then this negative 8 we just put at the end. All right, question number 2, it says, tell whether the value is a solution of the inequality. So we're going to take this and plug it into the inequality. Wherever that semicolon is, that means stop. This is the end of one part, but what comes after it is kind of connected. Okay, so that 24 is going to go in for S. So I'm going to write 24 plus 6 is less than or equal to 23. So 30 is smaller than 23. Is that true? No, it is not. So no, it is not a solution. 24 is not a solution of that inequality. Okay, Question number 3, we're going to graph the inequality. So I like to start with a 0 and then go a couple spaces in each direction. So we're going to put a circle at 1. Okay. Then I look at the inequality and I say, is it equal to 1? No, so I don't color it in. I leave the open circle there. Okay. And then G is greater than 1, so we're going to go this direction. Again, you guys can use the secret shortcut. If the letter comes first, you can turn the symbol into an arrow and it will tell you which way to go. So this one says go to the right. Okay, so G is greater than, so we go to the right. Sorry, did I say left earlier? I can't remember. Anyways, greater than, go to the right. Question number 4, now we're going to do that same thing but backwards. We're going to write an inequality that represents the graph. So I always start by putting my letter, whatever letter you want to use. Some people like to use N for number or A for Allison. Just kidding, that's my name. And then we're going to put the -2. And then I need to decide 2 things. So open circle means I don't put the equal sign. And then I need to decide left, or the left means is it greater than or less than? So left means less than. You can also look at the arrow, and that is the symbol that you would use right there, okay? So the alligator is going to eat -2 because that's the biggest it could possibly be. And again, it's not actually equal to -2, so we don't put the equal sign, but it can be -2.999999999, like really, really close to -2, but not including -2. Okay, question number 5, we're going to solve and graph. So I'm going to go +3 on both sides, and I get V is less than or equal to 5. I'm going to rewrite that with the V first. Now make sure right now the alligator is eating the 5, so when I rewrite it, the alligator should still be eating the 5, okay? So I'm going to put a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to put a circle there. It has an equal to, so closed circle, I color it in. It can equal 5. And then V is less than, so less is to the left. And again, as long as the V is first, you can turn this into an arrow and it tells you which direction to go. Okay, question number 6, solve and graph. Remember that minus a negative is the same thing as saying plus. So in +4, and I just want to do the opposite of +4, which would be -4. So n is less than or equal to 19. So I'm going to put a 0 here. 19 is on the positive side. I'm not going to count out 19 spaces, but I like to have my students always relate, is it to the right or left of 0? Some teachers will have you put the 19 in the middle and have you go down 18, 17, and above. Just do it however your teacher tells you to, okay? So then we put a circle here. It is equal to 19. It can be equal. That's one of the solutions, so we color that in. And then n is less than or equal to. So here's all the rest of the possibilities, all the numbers that are smaller than 19 toward 0. Okay, again, you can make that into an arrow because the n is first and it tells you to go to the left. All right, question number 7, solve and graph. We're going to add 2 to both sides. So 6 is less than p. So 0, 6 is somewhere on the positive side. I'm going to put an open circle. I'm going to rewrite this so that the P is first. The alligator is eating the P. So P is greater than 6. So there'd be all the values in that direction. Or now that my letter is first, you can make an arrow out of that and it tells you which way to go. Question number 8. You order a new pair of running shoes from a website that offers free shipping on orders of $75 or more. Your shoes cost $69.95. So you have already spent $69.95 plus how much more needs to be greater than or equal to $75 in order to get that free shipping. So I'm going to minus $69.95 minus $69.95, and X is greater than or equal to $5.05. So for example, if shipping was $6, you would want to buy something that costs $5 because then you would get something for free and save an extra dollar. So you need to spend at least $5.05. Okay. How much more you must spend. Okay. So make sure that you use the units. Okay. Question number 9 says solve the inequality. So I need to multiply by -2 on both sides. And remember that when I multiply by a negative, it flips the sign. So k is less than +4. So if I rewrite that with the k in the beginning and then the 4, the alligator's eating the 4, so the alligator still eats the 4 when I rewrite it. So I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Open circle, not equal to, so I don't color it in. And then k is less. So remember, when it's less, we go to the left, or you could think about it as an arrow and it tells you which direction to go. Question number 10, almost there. We're going to divide by -8 on both sides. So I get z is greater than or equal to. Remember, I flip the sign when I multiply or divide by a negative on both sides. And then we put a 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. It could be equal to 3, so we color that in as one of our solutions, and z is greater than, so that's to the right. You can also use the arrow like this. Z is greater than, so go to the right. Question number 11, just a reminder, you guys, you should be trying these problems first, pausing the video while you work through it, and then playing the video to check your solutions. That's how you're actually going to learn this instead of just copying. Okay, 35 is less than 5r plus 20, minus the 20 on both sides. So 15 is less than 5r, divide by 5. So r is greater than 3. Remember, I like to write my letter first, so I would write it r and 3. The alligator is eating the r, so the alligator should still be eating the r when I rewrite it. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Open circle, it's not equal to 3, so I don't color it in. And the alligator is eating the r, meaning those need to all be things that are bigger than 3. Or again, you can use this as an arrow to graph. Okay, question number 12, it says you have $8 to make copies. Each copy costs 40 cents. Write and solve an inequality that represents the number of copies you can make. So 40 cents times however many copies I make has to be less than or equal to $8. Right? I can spend exactly $8. I can spend less than $8. I just can't go over it if that's all the money that I have. So I'm going to divide both sides by 40 cents. So I get x is less than or equal to 20. So at the most, I can make 20 copies. So I can make less than or equal to 20 copies. So another way to write that would be no more than 20 copies. You could say 20 copies or less, however you want to say that, as long as you put the units on there and indicate that 20 is the max of copies that you can make. And that is it for your Unit 3 review.